Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Shyhammer Fantasy Battle Reports, and today this is the Midwest Club Challenge, Round 2, Skaven versus Orcs and Goblins. If you watched our first round, we ended up getting our asses kicked by Friday Night Dice, so now we're in the bottom three. We're in a triple threat three-way going on. It's us, the Holy Hammers, and Team WCW. And basically we all face off on one opponent. We just rotate who's getting which team. I ended up getting Steve, the Herner, with his Skaven army. And Steve is actually the big cheese. This is the big cheese right here, actually. We're going to go over his army list. He brought a massive blocks, just huge blocks of slaves. I mean, probably, I'm not even going to count it, close to 50 to 70 slaves. Probably 50. But he had two giant blocks of 50. He had these gutter runners, and they were about 10 deep each. Might have been, yeah. And then he had this block over here with his his screaming bell, and his screaming bell had the storm vermin watching it, pushing it, and I mean that's a pretty scary block, to be honest. I always see slaves pushing it. I don't really care about the slaves. I just try to kill the bell. But when you have freaking storm vermin with halberds protecting it, that's a scary fucking thought. He had a small bunker over here with a Gracier and his BSB, and I'm sorry this is a blurry picture. All his guys, I gotta admit, are freaking phenomenally painted and well done with extra little details. Like he added a lot of feathers in the hats. He has a good color scheme going on. All his guys are extremely converted. He won the best painting at Blood in the Sun. I actually voted for this guy at Blood in the Sun. But look at this banner right here. This thing is just like mint. It really is. It's really well done. And then he had a unit of, this is the big freaking death unit here. This is a unit of Storm Fiends. I said it right this time. Storm Fiends with like 7 guys, and like 4 of them have Rattling guns. So it's just ridiculous. And then this guy right here, this is what happens if he gets final transmutated. Oh, that's awesome. So basically this is kind of how it looks. The Storm Fiends aren't there right now. They're where the cheese is going to pop. I didn't have pictures of my guys, so I'm just going to use the ones from the last round. Basically, I got 2 Doom Divers. I got a unit of 10 Orc Biggins. I have a Ragnarok Spider, a unit of 24 Savage Orc Biggins, and then I have 6 Trolls, Gorbad Ironclaw with his Black Orc boss in the background, and then a unit of 13 Spider Riders, my level 2 Lore of Undeath, and my level 4 Kabuto the Python. Also, we cannot forget Chicken Head. Alright, so magic phase, or magic spells, I got the Harbinger and Gravecall on my undead. And then my level 4, he ended up getting Gaze of Mork, Foot of Gork, Here We Go, Edbutt, and Power of the Wog. Power of the Wog's just the lore master. I don't know why I said it out loud. Anyways, we went for the roll-off. I believe actually I won the roll-off. Might have. Yeah, I did. So what I ended up doing was I ended up putting everybody on the right flank. Again, trying to utilize the towers and buildings so that Ragnarok could go over. It kind of confuses or splits up my opponent's armies. I have the trolls on the left side. I actually have Gorbad sitting back because just after the last round I realized Gorbad shouldn't be the first one in combat, but more or less the last one to finish the combats. So he should be the big boss at the end, man. He should be the guy at the end of the, when you get to the final stage after you just beat like 500 freaking foot soldiers, you get to Shredder and you're just like, son of a bitch, man, Shredder sucks. Anyways, but I'm utilizing the hill. And basically this is how it looks. As you can see, where the cheese is, that's actually where his Storm Fiends are going to pop up. So I have a little room for buffer here. It's a little scary seeing that thing pop up just like to the side flank. And then he also has the Gutter Runners running up the side. He has just those giant blocks in the middle. Again, like I said, I won first roll off. I was going to sit back and try to shoot at them before they got up. Because he doesn't have much shooting, and he does have 2 Graciers. One of them has the Curse of the Horned Rat. The other one has like a bunch of other shit. So I'm just like, man, you know what? He took a lot of plague spells, actually, I think it was. But I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna sit back. First thing I do is the animosity roll, and my savages are like, no, we're not sitting back. We're running up. So they ran up and had a charge. Fucking savages. Oh, so since that was the case, I decided to move the trolls up as well. Chickenhead, he did Vanguard. He is running up the side here. He is going straight. Honestly, I've contemplated having Chickenhead go for the gutter runners to like stall him. That's what I made it look like. But truthfully, Chickenhead is aimed directly at his general's bunker, directly at the BSB. He's going for a character assassination. He's going to run in and try to character assassinate. And as you can see, the savages did fail their charge. Everybody's just kind of moving up. I'm moving the Ragnarok close up to the building, so he really can't charge me, but at the same time, I could just kind of like, haha, over the building and fuck with him. And then I moved my level 2 right behind the Ragnarok, because nobody's really paying attention to level 2 when there's a big-ass Ragnarok right in front of them. Kabuto and Gorbat are sitting back on the hill. They're basically going to get free range. I thought about this afterwards, like after like the second turn or so, but Kabuto is standing too close to Gorbat, so if he does get blown up with like a big template, Gorbat will get hit. I guess I get a lookout, sir, but still, whatever. Magic phase, I get a beautiful 10 dice. 10. Alright. First thing I do is I try to throw up Cryptors. He lets it go through. I got 3 Cryptors. And then I go for, I believe, the Foot of Gork, and he ended up stopping that. So, I ended up shooting off, I believe, with my Doom Diver. My Doom Diver, I was aiming for the General's bunker. My Doom Diver swung all the way out here and just ended up killing off like 3 or 4 slaves. I was like, what do you freaking do? My other Doom Diver goes for the General's unit. He ended up killing off like 2 or 3 guys. Oh, I'm sorry, 1 guy. He killed 1. And nothing else happened there. Basically, my guys on top here, they're going to go ahead and, on top of the Ragnarok, they're going to go ahead and shoot at the slaves to kill off 1 slave. And that was about it. I have nothing else going on my turn. He's going to go ahead and start off his Skaven turn 1. Skaven turn 1, he charges both his slave units right into my trolls and right into my savages. And that's how it looks in the middle of the board now. Magic phase, he got 6 power dice. He's going to go ahead and try to do Wither. I tried to stop it, I believe, and I couldn't. I failed the roll to stop. It goes off. It's going to hit both his guys and my guys. And it ends up killing off, like, holy shit, like, 9, I want to say, roughly, Savage Orc Biggins. I'm like, ouch. But at the same time, he had to take it because his guys were in combat with mine, and his are slaves. Dude, it killed, like, 10 of his guys, or 12 of his guys, or something like that. It killed a shit ton. So, no, it killed more than 10 or 12. Woo! Holy crap. I'm just going to try to get a rough estimate. It looks like 18, roughly. Maybe 20. So, he ends up trying to, he rolls for the dice to see if it passes on, and it does pass on. It goes to a next unit closest by 12 inches, and it ends up hitting my unit of Orc Biggins here. He contemplated throwing it onto my Shaman, but he was worried that my Shaman had a ward save. So I just shut up and let him hit my Orc Biggins. And sure enough, they took a good chunk. They took a good hit there. And they pass their panic checks, of course. He rolls for it again. He rolls a 1, and when he rolls the 1, I could pass it on or decide to just not use it. I decided not to use it anymore. He's going to go ahead and do his gutter runners, all shooting at Chickenhead. He gets a shit ton of attacks off. A shit ton of attacks off. All poison shots, slings, whatever, right? So he gets at least probably 10 wounds through on Chickenhead. This is the dice roll I did for Chickenhead. He armor saved 9 of them. He ward saved none. And he got 1 wound. Oh, Chickenhead, you're such a fucking tank. I hate you so much, but I love you. I don't hate you, Chicken. That was mean for me to say. Anyways, let's go into close combat. Close combat over here. The trolls, they get hit like a shit ton of times by these little slaves. Slaves actually failed their fear test on them, but they still get hit a bunch of times. And guess what? Not a single wound goes through. The trolls go back, and the trolls just kill off. Like I'm not even gonna count that, like 12, 13 guys. And the only problem here is they are steadfast, of course, right? And he brought a warlock engineer in both units for whatever reason. He knew it was a mistake on his part. He's like, shit, I just should have let him blow up then, because they would have panicked and blew up when they run, and that would have been however many ranks plus, that would have really hurt. But he couldn't do it because he had a warlock engineer. So as long as I didn't kill the warlock engineer, he can't shoot at me because his guys are stuck in combat. Usually you could shoot at slaves, no problem, and shoot through them and shoot at my guys. But he didn't have, if he didn't have those heroes in the unit. He had the heroes in the unit, they won't shoot at him. And yes, one troll is standing backwards. Anyways, uh, over here his slaves ended up killing off like 5 more of my savages. My savages attack back, they kill off like 12 more slaves. And the same problem here is he can't blow up on purpose. It is going to go ahead and start off my turn. Orcs and Goblins turn 2. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to charge Chicken Head exactly like I said. I'm going to character assassinate, and bam! He fails. He fails his roll. He got a 5. And he needed like maybe a 7 or something like that. Wasn't that bad on 3 dice. Failed. And he falls right by the cheese. The stinking cheese. As you can see on this right here, this is a special rules for our game. Basically, when you enter the enemy's deployment zone, you end up getting hit by a D6 strength 4 hit. So I go ahead and marched up the Cryptors up here. They got hit. They took 2 wounds. My Ragnarok got up there, didn't take a single wound. My wizard here, my shaman, he walked into the tower and he's like, I'm just gonna sit in here. I think it's kind of safe in here. And we're gonna go ahead and start off magic phase. Magic phase, we got 8 power dice. And I throw up 5 on the foot of Gork, throw it onto his bell. It gets a direct hit, hits the bell, hits a bunch of guys, ends up killing, I believe, like 8 to 10 guys, and he ward saves both the bell and the storm, or the Gracier. I roll 4, 4, 5, or 6 to do it again. I get a 1, and when I get a 1, he ends up throwing it onto this unit here, and luckily he gets a direct hit. He hits all 5 guys, but he rolled like 2 1s. So 2 guys lived. I was like, woo! Holy shit. And basically, I'm going to live on that unit for now. My Doom Diver starts the shooting phase. It blows itself up. What a dumbass. And then over here, this one, he decides to shoot. He's aiming at the general's bunker again, and he gets a misfire. Not only does he get a misfire, he gets skid marks. So skid marks, basically, the Doom Diver falls forward and smacks right into the ass of my Spider Riders. Kills off 3 of my Spider Riders. What an asshole. Trolls are going into close combat, and look at this. This is just brutal. This is, I believe, yeah, I think this is basically all the guys I wounded. Oh man, I'm not even counting it. I'm not even counting it. It's like around 15 to 20, and he's just pulling off bodies. He's pissed. He's cussing up a storm right now, and he fails to wound the trolls. So we're gonna go over here. Slaves kill off 1 more savage. Savages end up killing off, I believe, the whole block of slaves. And no, they leave 1 rank, but it looks like 4 guys, maybe 3 guys in that unit still. And those slaves do not blow up, I don't think. I don't remember if they blow up or not. We'll find out in a second. No, they blow up. So the slaves blow up, and when they blow up, they take out 1 of their slaves next to them. They take out, I believe that's it. I think nobody else got wounded. It's going to go ahead and start off Skaven, turn 2. Skaven, turn 2. His Storm Fiends pop up, and when they pop up on Chicken Head. So he's like, it counts as a charge. They're charged in, and it's a fight with Chicken Head. I don't know, because I really don't know the rules entirely of the Storm Fiends. As you can see, this is kind of how the board looks right now. He moves his Gutter Runners up this way. He's coming for Gorbad's unit, more or less. He's moving his other Gutter Runners up this way. And he's decided to charge the bell into my Cryptors. Of course, my Cryptors have to stand there. He ends up clipping in. He's going to get impact hits with just the bell itself. Magic phase, he gets 6 power dice. He goes for Curse of the Horn Rat. He gets double 6s right onto my unit of savages. That's going to go off. I can't stop it, and now they are clan rats. Oh, that's so awesome. I love it. So those are my fucking savages there now. They lost their frenzy. Oh, man. He ends up getting the big template, which, woo, that's going to hurt him. He ends up taking out like a good chunk of like 10 of his storm vermin. And then he ends up taking 1 wound on the bell. Over here, I believe, yeah, over here we're going to start off shooting phase. Shooting phase, he shoots out 2 Spider Riders with his Gutter Runners. and then we're gonna go to close combat because that's all that happened. Close combat. His impact hits alone kill off 2 of my Crypt Horrors. And then his guys attacking end up finishing off the other Crypt Horror. It was just no joke. He's gonna overrun and hit right into the Arachnarok spider, and I believe we had the spider close the door. And we just did the impact hits for the hell of it right now because we'll forget later. So he does the impact hits and he does 4 wounds onto my Arachnarok spider. Let's go over here, and we ended up having again, the trolls are just destroying. They destroyed the whole block, the whole fucking block of slaves. The one warlock engineer is sitting there. I decided not to chase him because he's gonna run away. Because yeah, that just happened. And when he runs away, I just let him go that way. I reformed the trolls to face the back end of the Storm Fiends. Hopefully, Chickenhead will last around. We'll find out. Over here, Chickenhead does not last around. He got his ass kicked pretty bad, actually. The rats, I think, are like initiative 5. They have like some grinder weapons and shit. They're like strength 7. Yeah, no. Chickenhead was dead. And that's going to start off Orcs and Goblins turn 3. Orcs and Goblins turn 3. Check this out. He final transmutated my savages, so I couldn't charge the side flank of his bell, which I think is a brilliant strategy, to be honest. I charge Gorbad out of the unit to the bell alone. Could be suicide. It could not be. I don't know. I'm going to charge the trolls into the gutter runners. They end up fleeing, and when they flee, I failed to charge, which sucks now because the trolls, I believe, might be just slightly out of Gorbad's range. His gutter runners run into the unit of Storm Fiends. They don't care. They run into the other unit of gutter runners, and they're gonna flee as well. So Gorbad does connect here alone, and basically I had the other Orc Biggins, the 2 guys that were remaining. They run into the tower here too. They're like, "Ah, we're getting our ass kicked out there." And they're like, "Okay, let's just chill in here." So I got the 3 guys hiding inside the tower. Over here, I believe I tried to redirect here into the Storm Fiends, and when I tried to redirect, he did a stand and shoot, and he ended up killing off. He did 4 wounds, killed 1 troll, and put 1 wound onto the other troll. Magic Phase, I got 8 power dice. When I got the 8 power dice, I did another unit of Crypt Horrors, and I did it slightly bigger because I could afford to, and I called up one of the dead trolls as an extra Crypt Horror. Oh, man. Over here, I ended up throwing 5 dice on the foot of Gork. I got double 6s. He was ready to stop it, too. He was rolling those dice. He had 6 dice up on it ready, and yeah, I stopped it. I threw the foot right onto the Storm Fiends, and basically I believe I clip him. I only do 2 wounds. He's like, alright. So I do a 4, 5, or 6 to do it again. I get a 4. Same unit. Gonna clip him, hit him. It does 4 wounds. So it kills 1 guy outright and kills off the second guy. So actually, I think it was 5 wounds. Whatever. 6 wounds. Holy shit. Kill 2. Yeah, anyways. Roll 4, 4, 5, or 6 to do it again. And I had to change the angle too because, you know, the way he pulled it out was kind of funny. So I was like, oh man, I gotta put my foot this way. 4, 5, or 6. I get a 4 again. I'm gonna go ahead and throw it in a crooked angle. It ends up drifting backwards and hitting the freaking gutter runners. And kills off 2 gutter runners. Okay. Roll 4, 4, 5, or 6 to do it again. I get it again. 3 in a row. Do it on the Storm Fiends. Does 2 wounds. Roll 4, 4, 5, or 6 to do it again. Get it again. Oh shit. Here it goes. Boom. Killed off another 2 Storm Fiends. So 4 of them are dead out of the 7. Roll 4, 4, 5, or 6 to do it again. I get a 3. So far right now, 4 successful ones. Look at Kabuto. He's smiling under that mask. As for my miscast, I rolled a 5. He takes a wound, and I believe that's it. We're gonna go to shooting phase. My skink Goblin Spider Rider here. He's gonna shoot at these slaves right in front of him. They shoot off the 2. These are the savages that betrayed us, and they're gonna go ahead and panic and flee, and they run this way. Oh man. Doom Diver. Doom Diver's going for the Storm Fiends. Ends up hitting, clipping, doing 2 wounds. And then over here, I challenged. He accepts with his champion. I was honestly afraid of getting hit by like 3 guys, strength 4, weapons. It's possible he could kill me. Possible. But not whatever. But I just wanted that side flank. I wanted that assistance. I want to start grinding. I have him surrounded. Challenge. He accepts. Does 6 wounds onto the champion. Oh, Gorbad, you're such an asshole. As for the Arachnarok goes ahead, hits, only kills 3 guys. And then I believe the Goblins all missed. He goes for Thunderstomps. Thunderstomps kills off 5 more guys. And that's going to start off, I believe. It might be his turn next. Yeah, it's his turn. Skaven's turn 3. His Gutter Runners both decide they're not going to continue to stay in the game. They're going to both run off the board. And that's what happens. Over here, he moves up his Storm Fiends just a little bit. They're going to take some pot shots at my freaking trolls. Magic Phase, he got, I believe, 3, and then he rolled the 4, but for the channel. So he was just like, son of a bitch. So nothing really happened. Oh, no. This is actually the bell. I'm sorry. This is the bell ringing. He rolled really low on the Magic Phase. I ended up dispelling him anyways. He rang the bell, and the bell does something. I forgot what it did specifically. Rattling guns are all going. Shoots. Holy shit. He just killed 3 trolls. Not a fucking problem. And I regen like probably 10 wounds or so. And he still killed them. I was like, oh, wow. That's a lot of fucking shots. Strength 5. All this other random crap. It's brutal. Close combat. Gorbad moves in. Kills off 4 guys. Spider's going to go ahead and attack. He ends up putting... I'm trying to have the spider attack straight the freaking Screaming Bell now and just thunderstomp the little guys. So he ends up putting 2 more wounds onto the Screaming Bell. The Goblins on top are attacking the Storm Vermin. Ended up killing off 1 guy. Thunderstomp goes, kills off 2 more guys. And he's going to stick because he's unbreakable. It's going to start off Orcs and Goblins turn 4. Orcs and Goblins turn 4. I'm going to charge in the Cryptors into the rear of this thing. They're in. Magic Phase, I got 5 power dice. And I'm going to go ahead and roll for the foot again. The foot. I contemplated charging the trolls in. And I was like, fuck that. I'm going to foot these guys to death. Going to go ahead and throw the foot. Foot goes on 2 inches this way. I believe kills off 1 guy. Roll 4, 5, or 6 to do it again. I got a 5. Hit another guy. Actually, I think I put like 1 wound on 1 guy. Roll 4, 5, or 6 to do it again. Get it again. It floats off, does nothing on this one. Roll 4, 5, or 6 to do it again. Get a 4. And does nothing again. I roll for it again. I get it again. I hit. Direct hit. Kills off 1 guy. This guy has 1 wound remaining, I believe. Roll 4, 5, or 6 to do it again. Got it again. And it does nothing. And then after that... Oh, I'm sorry. I rolled a 3. And it does nothing. He walks off board. Holy shit, man. That foot is on fire right now. Shoot the Doom Diver at this guy. He floats off and misses entirely. Skaven, turn 2. These guys are going to continue running off the board. Magic Face, he only gets 2. And he ends up doing a spell over here onto these guys. I forgot which spell it was. He ends up getting it off. He did channel. That's what it was. He channeled. He did 3. It had something to do with the template. So it's going to hit these guys. End up killing off my trolls. It kills off like 1 troll, and I have 1 wound remaining. I'm trying to remember what it was. It might have been a plague spell. That's what it possibly was. As for his remaining guy with the gun here, ends up shooting, only doing 1 wound onto my troll. Close combat over here. Woo! I think I missed the combat phase in the last one. Last one, I don't think I wounded much. I killed the rest of the Storm Vermin, and I tried to kill the Bell, but the Bell was ward saving everything. So the combat over here, Gorbad goes ahead and hits, and I believe he puts on like a wound or 2 onto the Bell. It's going to start off Orcs and Goblins turn 5. Orcs and Goblins turn 5. We end up, I believe, destroying the Bell on this turn, actually. On the last turn. He just didn't remove the model because we were just like, it's getting close to the end of the game. Time's running short. Like I said, Orcs and Goblins turn 5. The Spider comes this way, kind of like staring down the last Storm Vermin. This is like the last 10 minutes. I'm trying to shoot him with everybody I could shoot at, because if I charge with the Troll with 1 wound, it's not going to do nothing. Magic Phase, I got 8 power dice. I decide I'm going to try to do a Gaze of Mork, does nothing. I try to do a Foot of Gork. I failed the roll. Try to shoot at him with all my spiders. Everybody on a spider is shooting, and he doesn't. He gets away. He has like 1 wound remaining. So his objective was to get terrain. So he runs up to the tree, which is on my side of the table, and he takes a wound for the objective, doing D6 strength 4 hits, and he kills his guy. And he was like, "This is a bullshit objective. Your objective killed me, Joe." And oh, that was the end of the game. It was a slaughter for the Orcs and Goblins. The Foot of Gork prevailed, and right off the gate, I'm telling you right now, MVP is definitely going to Kabuto. Kabuto took care of the biggest threat on the board, which was the Storm Fiends. He did have a bunker left with his general and his BSB because we were playing Blood and Glory. So he didn't want to lose his fortitude points to lose the game that way, but it was definitely an Orcs and Goblins win. I think I just lost Chicken Head, and that might have been it. And the Doom Diver. I might have lost some other guys, but whatever. So overall, just yeah, my guys prevailed, and it was extremely fun. I was actually extremely happy that I got to face Herner because, like I said, I voted for his army, and it's just like such a beautiful army. I'm gonna go back to this picture over here with the Storm Fiends with the cannons, and they're just so well done. I mean, like, look at the little hats that are on them and everything. I mean, I wish I could green stuff like this. Even the shirts. He has puffy shirts on all of them. Like, that's insane. So I wish I could do some green stuff work like that. It's just really good. And then they're saying he does a Holy Wars, and that's on. Let me see where it is. He does the Holy Wars tournament for his team, the Holy Hammers. But it's basically he's doing it in Yorkville, Illinois, in February. It's going to be an Age of Sigmar tournament. Unfortunately, I'm not really into Age of Sigmar, so I would have gone otherwise. But it is. I've heard that his terrain and his gaming boards is just ridiculously well done, and yeah, it's going to be up there. And if you like Age of Sigmar, go for it. He has a website. I'll probably put the link on down below, basically, so you could go ahead and register if you're into that kind of stuff. Anyways, guys, so for the rest of our team, we ended up doing really well. I believe Aaron crushed the guy that he was playing, and that's the second game. Aaron's had a very solid game so far. My brother Jesse, he ended up facing another high elf player, and he destroyed him. And Dan, I forgot. Oh, Dan was playing a dwarf guy right next to me, and the dwarf guy just blasted him. He played a gun line and just blasted Dan's high elves. Dan actually came with a very combat fighting high elf army, and he didn't bring much fast cav, he didn't bring much flying, and that ended up costing him that fight because he was fighting a gun line. Anyways, guys, so we ended up going from like probably last place down to the middle. We're like probably third place right now or so, like that, or fourth, and we got one more game, and I believe the top two teams. I don't think the top two teams. It might have been WCW versus FND. I want to say it might have been, but we'll find out. Anyways, guys, I will see you in the next video, and take care. Peace. If you guys have any comments or feedback, leave it down below, and I will definitely like to listen, see, and what you guys have to say. All right. See you guys in the next video. Later.